Welcome to Nice Drives. I'm Roger Mecca here on a frozen lake in the middle of the Rocky Mountains in Georgetown, Colorado. Now, this might be a frozen lake to you and me, but to these guys, it is a race track. Ice racing brings all these families together every winter. We're gonna go find out what makes these folks tick because I can't gain any traction, but they definitely can. Let's go find out how.
Well, it's for a good time. You know, it started out years ago, just a couple guys, you know, talking and saying, well, I could drive faster than you on the ice, and that's how it started, like any form of motorsports, and it's progressed to this.
Now, as you may have noticed, we are on ice. So if you're gonna drive a four-wheel drive, even a really nice one, like the student driver here, you gotta have some nice tires. So how do you make these things?
We have to make the tires, when they come out of the factory, they're just bare rubber.
Right.
And we have to drill holes in them and put these studs in. Pretty specific for this kind of racing is all they're good for.
Okay. Now, what do you use when it's really slick and you really gotta get some grip?
Well, we run 3 different tires actually on this Jeep, and we start with these this morning, but then we run what they call the bolt class or the cheater class, and we use these tires under here.
Woo!
Those get a little bit of traction there.
I would say so. It's like something out of the Road Warrior.
Yeah.
Now, what's the story behind these? Now, these are actually, compared to these tires right here, I mean, these are definitely some more off-road tires just when they come off the factory. These are just kind of like regular Firestones that you put on your truck, and then you put these guys in them.
Well, what you start out with is just an old wore-out tire. Because as you can see with these, the tires aren't that big a deal. All the tire does is hold the bolts.
Right.
Well, you just take a wore-out tire, so you can usually find those. Somebody will give you those. Drill holes in them, put bolts in them with some sealant or a tube or something, and then sharpen the bolts. These are just bolts you buy at the hardware store. Out here, they work great. They really hook up.
Can you actually still spin out your Jeep when you're on these? Are you pretty much locked in on rails?
No, we get them sliding. We also use what we call a steering brake. Like my setup is I just lock up this one front tire when I press the brake pedal, and so that forces you with the momentum to slide around. So you can actually get them sliding pretty good, but on the other hand, they grip really good too, so you gotta maintain somewhere in the middle so you don't go over.
How many classes do you have here for ice racing?
Well, we run 3 of them. We start at Pro Street, which is Mama's grocery getter, or to a regular street Jeep or a Subaru, whatever you have, as long as it's 4-wheel drive. That's the street class. Then we have the Pro Street, and the difference between the two is the tires. In Pro Street, we run some studded tires, and we run some ice tires, some just Blizzacs or Alpine, something like that.
Right.
And then we have the comp class, which is it's pretty much like an unlimited class. You can run pretty much anything, and that's where we race the bare rubber, the studs, and those cheaters I showed you.
Mm-hmm. I just felt the ice like thump or move or something. How thick is it right now? What are we standing on here?
Right in here, I measured it this morning at about 21 inches.
Okay, so we're good.
Oh yeah,
we're good.
Problem. We need about 12 inches to be able to run.
So unlike other forms of auto racing, everybody's going in the same direction, always, racing against each other, one car right next to the other. You guys don't necessarily do that.
Right.
You're racing against each other, but you're not side by side.
Correct. We're racing heads up, but we're starting on opposite ends of the track, and you always start and finish in your same spot. And it's one lap. You both take off at the same time, you're going the same direction, and like I said, you start and finish in the same spot. So even if one driver was way slower or had an issue, spun out or something, then you would just follow him. You always want to finish your lap because you would be the first one back, so you would win.
Okay.
So there's never any contact or anything. It's heads up, but it's on the same track, but you're starting at opposite ends of the track.
All right, Kevin, so it looks like you guys are getting ready to start. We got some cars getting fired up. I see an Audi out there. Is he gonna take that thing out there?
Sure.